Project Bridges of Time, an integrated approach to improving the sustainable use of cross-border cultural heritage. Nikopol, Turnu Magurele is co-funded by the European Union through the European Regional Development Fund under the Interreg Romania-Bulgaria program. Project partners: Nikopol Municipality and Turnu Magurele Municipality. Project deadline: March 31st, 2017 to December 30th, 2023. About the project. Project Bridges of Time, integrated approach to improving the sustainable use of cultural heritage in Nikopol and Turnu Magurele. Acronym: The Bridges of Time is co-financed by the European Union through the European Regional Development Fund under the Interreg VA Romania-Bulgaria program 2014 to 2020. Priority Axis 2, Green Region. Specific objective: improving the sustainable use of natural heritage and resources and cultural heritage. The main objective of the project is to improve the sustainable use of the cross-border cultural heritage of the city, Nikopol and Turnu Magurele, by creating, implementing and promoting an integrated joint approach to investing in sustainable tourism. The project is aimed at restoring the fortress Turnu Magurele in the town of Turnu Magurele, the construction of the Archaeological Park Museum Ports of Time in the town of Turnu Magurele. Nikopol, providing access to the Rock Church in the town of Nikopol. Nikopol, as well as the creation of a number of tourist products and services in both municipalities. The project includes sustainable investments in tourism infrastructure, development of integrated tourism products and services, innovative and effective marketing, awareness and promotional interventions implemented with the active participation of local residents, tour operators, and stakeholders, thus creating viable economic cross-border applications, cultural heritage, and increasing tourist visits and overnight stays in the area. What activities does the project involve? The following activities have been implemented under the Bridges of Time project. 3 business meetings with tour operators and other stakeholders have been organized in order to develop joint tourism products and evaluate the marketing strategy. A joint marketing strategy has been developed. A trilingual portal and application Bridges of Time has been developed. Info terminals have been installed for an attractive presentation of tourist products and services. Trained staff for Park Ports of Time and Turnu Magurele Fortress. Established 2 clubs for historical reenactments in Turnu Magurele and Nikopol. A 3-day cross-border festival Bridges of Time is organized. Road to the archaeological site Rock Church in the town of Nikopol. Built open-air museum Archaeological Park Ports of Time. Preserved and restored archaeological site Turnu Fortress. Tourist infrastructure. Under the project Bridges of Time, the following tourist infrastructure was created and reconstructed. Road to the archaeological site Rock Church Nikopol. The Rock Church St. Stephen is located in the area Plavala, the land of the town of Nikopol. It was declared in 1976 a historic area named the Rock Church, with an area of 1 hectare. The church is carved in limestone. On the walls abound old inscriptions and drawings from the era of the birth of Christianity, 3 to 4th century. In 2003, it was recategorized as a natural landmark, with the name and area preserved. The church was active as early as the 10th to 11th centuries. Open-air museum, Archaeological Park Ports of Time. Archaeological Park Museum in the open-air ports of time reproduces experimentally separate aspects of the life of the coastal population, its contact and connections with the river, and its impact on the development of culture in all aspects, in the practice and skills of people. As a result of the implementation of the project, a complete infrastructure was built, allowing the reproduction of the authentic historical environment for activities related to the proximity to raw materials and household funds and activities of the people who lived near the big river during the different historical eras. In the Park Museum are reproduced residential habitats and production spaces designed to demonstrate crafts and skills, making tools, weapons, utensils, boats, etc. In order to achieve maximum authenticity, the architectural plan for the Bridges of Time Archaeological Park Museum was developed on the basis of models developed by a team of experts and historians, citing plans and drawings of historical data, records, and documents. The open-air Archaeological Park Museum Ports of Time is the first of its kind in Bulgaria and includes the following authentic buildings: allowing visitors to be transported with a time machine to long-gone historical eras. Building from the Old Stone Age, Copper Age building, Bronze Age building, Roman Age building, Agora Square, service building on the first floor, on which is located an exhibition hall. In addition to buildings for living and practicing various processing of materials and crafts, the spaces in and around the buildings are adapted for demonstrations of typical activities related to the lifestyle of the local population, such as demonstrations to smoke fish catches, to prepare fishing gear from wood, plant fiber, flint and bone, and to prepare river fish for food. The buildings within the archaeological park are reproduced and equipped mainly from natural materials typical for the different eras: stone, wood, clay, straw, adobe, leather, mats. Old construction techniques and technologies are used, without the use of modern materials. The main priority in the presentation in the park environment of the reconstructions is their scientific credibility and the use of the facilities, homes, arbors, workshops, vessels to carry out the activities and procedures in all their fullness and attract modern man to enter the spirit of history. Moreover, thanks to the specially designed programs, the demonstration stage can continue with the opportunity for visitors to actively use their holiday to learn skills and feel involved in a life remote in time, to replenish their knowledge and to arouse a new interest in history. Thus, static, inactive perception will become an action with cognitive and emotional goals. Fishing, boat construction, river navigation, creation and assimilation of household and technical achievements will change in moments passing through the centuries. The programs offered have the following focus: prehistoric era processing of stone and clay, Stone Age hunting and fishing skills, Thracian culture and religion, Roman Empire, military skills and tactics, medieval cuisine and wine. Tasting. The archaeological park is fully consistent with the characteristics of its surroundings and natural resources. The facilities also use materials typical for the different eras: stone, clay, hedges, straw, wood. In this sense, the park has the character of an eco-park, but maintained and related to activities in which the natural materials used will not conflict with the environment. The open-air archaeological park museum Bridges of Time offers conditions for holding events and providing integrated tourist products and services in the form of events, workshops, festivals, workshops with stakeholders, trainings and green camps, etc., as well as Congress tourism and interactive outdoor lessons for pupils and students. Development, consolidation, conservation and restoration of the archaeological site Turnu Fortress. The ruins of the medieval fortress Turnu, Turis, from Turnu Magurele, the fortification of Mircea cel Bătran from the end of the 14th century, are located south of the city, in the valley of the Danube, at a distance of 4 kilometers from the city and 1 kilometer from the mouth of the old river. The fortress played an important role in the defense system of the country, especially during the reign of Mircea cel Bătran, who fought against the Ottoman conquerors. Turnu is a small fortress. It has the shape of an irregular polygon and consists of a ring moat, a fortress wall, and a large round tower in the middle. The ring moat of the fortress is polygonal, 6 minutes wide and 2.5 minutes deep, with vertical walls, lined with walls of rough stones and filling of stones of broken stones. The solder is made of mortar with rubble. The inner wall of the moat, with a circumference of 156 minutes, rose above the surrounding terrain and was the outer fortress wall. In the northeastern part was the entrance with a drawbridge over the moat. The moat was filled with water from the Danube. The fortress wall of Turnu has a specific shape. Between it and the inner wall of the moat, there is a circular corridor with a width of 4 minutes. The inside the wall is round and the outside polygonal with 9 sides, whose lengths are from 11.5 to 15 meters. The thickness of the wall is impressive, from 4.5 to 6.5 meters. On the south side inside there is a rectangular tower with sides of 4.5 and 6 meters. It is built of hewn stone. It is filled with stones and mortar. The fortress is part of a fortified chain, along with those in Giurgiu, Brăila, and Tutraca, which runs along the river and is of strategic importance in order to control navigation on the Danube and manage the lower Danube lowland. After the completion of the consolidation, preservation and restoration activities carried out within the project, Turnu Fortress is open to visitors from May 2021. The following tourist products and services have been created under the project. Integrated Tourist Service, Congress Tourism. Suitable conditions have been created for thematic seminars and other Congress events. Integrated Tourist Service, interactive outdoor lessons for students. Integrated Tourist Product, prehistoric era stone and clay processing, one-day program. Integrated Tourist Product, hunting and fishing skills from the Stone Age, one-day program. Integrated Tourist Product, Thracian culture and religion, one-day program. Integrated Tourism Product, Roman Empire military skills and tactics, one-day program. Integrated Tourist Product, medieval cuisine and wine tasting, one-day program. Tourists can get acquainted in advance with the content of the programs and services of the site www.TheBridgesOfTime.com and request participation in one of them in advance. The established clubs for historical reenactments are trained to provide one-day programs. Bridges of Time Festival. The Bridges of Time Festival is an annual festival of antiquity and the Middle Ages, held within 3 days on both banks of the Danube. It rests on the common historical roots of Bulgaria and Romania in antiquity, Roman Empire, and the Middle Ages, as well as on the archaeological and cultural monuments preserved from the respective era. The festival has a common structure developing on the territory of the two municipalities, Turnu Magurele and Nikopol, and covering both eras in both cities, 2 days in Romania and then 2 days in Bulgaria. The festival days alternate. Its launch is in Romania. The next day is in Bulgaria and Romania in parallel, but in different eras. The first edition of the 3-day cross-border festival was held from the 6th to the 8th of October 2023, according to the following program. The first festival day was focused on Roman lifestyle and culture and included crucifixion of the military camps of all clubs, legions, and medieval clubs. During the construction, presenters presented various aspects of Roman military art, the principles of military camps, the way of organization, the purpose of different sectors, the construction of tents, the presentation of armaments and suits of legionaries, demonstration of armor, swords, shields, armor, and equipment, presentation by the clubs of the most attractive fighting skills, accessories, weapons, combat helmets and armor, etc. Demonstrations in line training with commands in Latin, borrowing in combat order, commands for offensive and retreat. Visitors had the opportunity to touch and try out the different demonstrations, clothing, etc. Personal, enriching knowledge of ancient heritage. Conducted open lessons on tricks for handling weapons and stage fighting. Roman cuisine, set with kitchens, grills, and chevermeta, where dishes are prepared, soups and grills according to authentic Roman recipes and spices. The famous Roman fish soup is prepared. Cakes are baked on a plate. Vegetables inherent in the Roman table are baked on grills. Culinary, specialists in Roman cuisine, give an open lesson in the culinary art of ancient Rome for those who want to acquire practical knowledge. Wine tasting and acquaintance with grape varieties in antiquity, a way of seasoning with various flavorings and spices. The Roman culture of drinking and the use of wine and Latin sayings derived from it. Customs and crafts of the era. Roman military, civil and children's games, including military maneuvers of the Roman legions, clubs, war games, demonstration of the regimental skills and combat order of the legions. The audience actively participates in activities such as archery, javelin throwing, and many of the sports practiced in ancient Rome, some of which were brought from ancient Greece. For children, there is a separate corner in which they tried different games left over from the Romans. Rolling wheels with a stick, putting a ball in holes, Roman mini golf, board games as a checker with 3 and 9 checkers, and many others. Official opening of the festival on the square or in the city garden on the back of the large monument in Turnu Magurele, with a parade of Roman legionaries, representatives of various clubs from Romania, Bulgaria, and others, and the host clubs from Turnu Magurele and Nikopol. The parade was adopted by the Roman legate ruling the area. The parade continued with a parade on the streets of the city and ended in the city park, where a Roman and medieval military camp, an arena for gladiators and military demonstrations was built, lighting torches in legion camps and medieval clubs, and presenting an opportunity to participate in nightlife, placing a guard and changing the guard, cleaning and arrangement of weapons, songs, and various amusements such as prepared Roman and antique board games, used at the time to expand knowledge and strategic preparation for fighting and preparation for the night rest with. Music from the Middle Ages and antiquity, etc. Multimedia spectacle that presented the construction and cultural achievements of the Roman civilization, bridges, buildings, viaducts, public baths, religious temples, palaces, etc. The multimedia performance was accompanied by poems by Roman poets, accompanied by original musical performances of the era. A second festival day focused on medieval and chivalrous culture and lifestyle and included official opening of the medieval second part of the festival with a parade of clubs that welcomed the ruler. An envoy arrived from Sigismund of Luxembourg with news that the United Christian armies had entered Bulgaria and asked Mircea the Elder to join them against the troops of the Ottoman Turks, Bayezid. A military council followed, and a decision to participate in the crusade of King Sigismund I and to support the cause of the United Christian armies. Medieval cuisine of the European peoples, a presentation of the cuisine of some of the European nations participating in the crusade against the Turks. Tastings of food and beverages, wine, beer, mead, etc. Characteristic of different peoples. Open lessons in medieval cuisine. Attractions related to medieval crafts and trade, as well as social, religious, and cultural life. Setting up a trial for thieves, murderers, and witches. Executions of punishments, wooden cages and donkeys, Inquisition appliances, etc. Concert and cultural medieval program. Troubadours and reciters of knightly poems. Fire swallowers, jesters and mimes cheer the audience. Puppet theater and comedy dell'arte presented medieval mores. Third festival day in Nikopol, dedicated to the Middle Ages lifestyle, culture and cuisine with a focus on the Bulgarian Middle Ages. The historical events in Nikopol and the monument, Church St. Peter and Paul. Medieval nightly clubs pitched their camps, pitching tents, constructing armories, placing guards on the perimeter. Presentation of the clubs and which feudal families they represent and from what century the equipment is. Show weapons and armor. Active participation of the audience. The opportunity to try armor and swords, to shoot bows, and to obtain guidance and techniques for medieval military doctrine. Byzantine, Bulgarian, and Western European. Parade of clubs of various European medieval families and crusader clubs associated with the March of Sigismund of Luxembourg in the center of Nikopol, on the central square, and head in a battle march to the cultural and historical complex bridges of time on the banks of the Danube. Attractions related to medieval crafts and trade, as well as social, religious, and cultural life. Recreating a medieval market for goods and animals. Guards hunt down scammers and thieves. Setting up a trial for thieves, murderers, and witches. Medieval cuisine of the European peoples. A presentation of Bulgarian national cuisine and the cuisine of some of the European nations participating in the crusade against the Turks. Tastings of food and beverages, wine, beer, mead, etc. Characteristic of different peoples. In the yard of the church, St. Peter and Paul performed a medieval baptism or engagement with a recreation of the ritual of the Middle Ages and Church Slavonic singing. Fashion show nights fashion and the fashion of the medieval cities of the nations participating in the march. Nightly tournaments dedicated to Tsar Ivan Shishman or Emperor Sigismund of Luxembourg. The tournaments are held in a specially prepared arena with a grandstand where the emperor is and his court watches the attractive performances of the night. Official closing of the festival multimedia performance, which presented the construction and cultural achievements of the Middle Ages, bridges, buildings, cathedrals, public buildings, castles, fortresses, palaces, etc. The Bridges of Time project cooperated with tour operators to create and promote the integrated tourism products and services jointly developed by the municipality of Nikopol and the municipality of Turnu Magurele. Held 3 business meetings with tour operators and other stakeholders in order to develop joint tourism products and services and evaluate the marketing strategy. At the workshops, stakeholders got acquainted with the developed tourist infrastructure and attractions, the Turnu Fortress, the Rock Church, the Archaeological Park Museum Bridges of Time, the Festival Bridges of Time, the established clubs for historical reenactments and other sites of cultural and historical interest in the region. As part of the workshops, brainstorming sessions and focus groups were held to provide input to the development of integrated tourism products and services and evaluate the marketing strategy. 2 integrated products were developed: 3-day cross-border festival Bridges of Time, cross-border route for cultural heritage Rock Church Archaeological Park Bridges of Time, Turnu Fortress, and 7 tourist services. Marketing strategy. The impact of the project among the target groups. The results of the implementation of the Bridges of Time project have the potential for development of the tourism sector in both municipalities, and this can seriously help their economies. The partners are aware of this and intend to carry out continuous monitoring and evaluation of the impact of the project. One of the guarantees to ensure sustainability of the project results is related to the challenge of perseverance of volunteers and staff. This element of sustainability will be provided through the established clubs for historical reenactments with trained volunteers who are local residents and are directly interested in the development of the tourism sector in the area. You are welcome to meet the Bridges of Time destination on the spot.